Many of us grew up with a single, serene image of heaven, a place of peace and glory we enter after our earthly journey ends. But what if I told you that this idea only scratches the surface? Did you know the Bible speaks of not one, but three heavens, each with a distinct purpose? This revelation has the power to transform how you view heaven, your life, and God's divine plan. Yet, here's the question that should trouble your heart. Why is this truth almost never taught? Why is such a profound biblical concept kept from so many of us? Get ready, because today we're pulling back the veil and walking step by step through the mystery of the three heavens. Stay with me to the end, because you'll not only uncover their secrets and purposes, but also the shocking reason why most churches never mention the third heaven, a detail that could redefine your spiritual journey forever. The Bible doesn't just describe heaven as a singular physical place. Instead, it unfolds a stunning truth: three distinct heavens, each serving a unique role in God's creation. But why should this matter to you? The answer is simple yet profound. Understanding the heavens is like holding a divine map. This map doesn't just guide you toward a destination, it reveals the intricate dimensions of life, faith, and God's overarching plan for humanity. Without this knowledge, it's easy to miss key truths that impact not only your spiritual growth, but your eternal destiny. Imagine wandering through life without knowing the true purpose of the heavens, or how they interconnect with your very existence. The stakes couldn't be higher. The Apostle Paul gives us an astonishing glimpse into one of these heavens in 2 Corinthians 12, 2-4. He recounts being caught up to the third heaven, describing it as a realm so divine that the words spoken there are inexpressible, forbidden for mere mortals to utter. This wasn't just a physical place, but a spiritual dimension beyond human comprehension. Think about that for a moment, a realm so sacred and transcendent that it defies the boundaries of language. What could this mean for our understanding of God's universe? But here's where the story deepens. The third heaven isn't some abstract theological idea. It holds practical, life-changing implications for every believer. Yet, why are so few of us aware of it? Why is this concept absent from so many sermons, Sunday school lessons, and Bible studies? The answer is as startling as the heavens themselves, and it points to a critical detail that, if ignored, could leave our faith incomplete. This is not just a story about the heavens. It's about reclaiming a truth that's been hidden for far too long. Stick with me, because as we journey through this exploration of the three heavens, we'll uncover not only their purpose, but also how understanding them can draw you closer to God. And when we finally reveal why these truths have been kept in the shadows, you'll see your spiritual life in an entirely new light. Heaven isn't just about where we go after we die. It's about understanding the divine structure of God's plan and how it shapes our lives today. Let's begin. By exploring the heavens, we unlock a deeper understanding of how each realm shapes our lives, influences our prayers, and strengthens our relationship with God. Let's begin with the first heaven, the physical sky. This is the most familiar of the three heavens, the vast expanse above us that we can see with our eyes. It's the sky that holds the clouds, the sun, the moon, and the stars. It's where the winds blow, the rain falls, and the birds soar. This is the heaven that surrounds us daily, the tangible space we often take for granted. In Genesis 1:8, it says, "And God called the expanse heaven, and there was evening and there was morning, the second day." This physical heaven is part of God's intricate design, created to protect and sustain life on earth. Think of it as the roof over a home, sheltering and nurturing all who dwell beneath it. Every gust of wind, every shimmer of a star, and every drop of rain is a reflection of God's intentional care for His creation. Yet, while the first heaven is awe-inspiring, it is just the beginning of a far more profound divine architecture. To grasp the fullness of God's plan, we must look beyond the visible, to realms we cannot see with our eyes but can only perceive through faith. The second heaven takes us into the spiritual dimension, a realm invisible to human eyes but undeniably real. It is here that spiritual battles are fought, where angels carry out God's commands, and where demons resist His will. This is not a metaphorical battlefield, but a genuine realm of spiritual activity. In Ephesians 6:12, Paul writes, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in heavenly places. This verse peels back the curtain on the unseen forces that influence our lives. Imagine playing a video game. On the surface, you control the character, but behind every action is a complex, hidden system dictating what happens next. The second heaven operates in much the same way. Even though it is invisible, its presence is felt in every aspect of our lives, in our struggles, our choices, and our spiritual growth. It's a place of intense activity, where angels wage war on our behalf, carrying out God's plans, while demonic forces attempt to disrupt His will. The second heaven is not something we can observe, but its influence surrounds us. It is a place where spiritual warfare takes place, affecting the outcomes of our prayers and shaping the circumstances of our lives. Understanding this realm helps us see that our daily struggles are not merely physical or emotional. They are often rooted in the spiritual. This awareness allows us to pray with greater intention and stand firm in the face of trials, knowing that we are not alone in the battle. But even with this understanding, the second heaven is not the end of the story. There is yet another realm, one that transcends even the spiritual battlefield, a place of divine glory and ultimate purpose. Keep watching, because the third heaven will reveal truths that can redefine not only your faith, but your understanding of eternity itself. Let's keep unraveling this mystery together. The destiny of humanity and the world itself finds its resolution in the third heaven, the most sacred and awe-inspiring of all the heavens. Unlike the first heaven, with its physical expanse, or the second heaven, where spiritual battles rage unseen, the third heaven is where God Himself resides. It is the ultimate sanctuary of His eternal glory, a place beyond human suffering, pain, or darkness. Here there is only peace, radiance, and the kind of divine communion that every soul longs for, even if they can't yet name it. The Apostle John offers us a glimpse of this heavenly realm in Revelation 21:2, saying, "And I, John, saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband." This vision isn't just a description. It's a promise, a beacon of hope for those who have placed their trust in God. The third heaven is where every tear is wiped away, every question is answered, and every ache is finally healed. It is the destination of ultimate fulfillment, where the mysteries of our existence are unveiled in the glorious presence of our Creator. Yet this heaven isn't accessible to everyone. It is reserved for those who have accepted God's invitation through Christ. This is a sobering truth, but it is also a profound one. In this sacred place, human longing meets divine purpose. Every trial, every moment of faith, and every choice made in love leads us closer to this eternal dwelling. It's not just an end, it's the culmination of all that we are, in perfect harmony with God's plan. The three heavens, though distinct, are not separate. They are intricately woven into the fabric of God's design for creation and humanity. The first heaven, the natural world, is where we begin, experiencing the tangible evidence of God's creativity and care. The second heaven, the spiritual realm, is where the unseen battles shape our faith, testing and refining our character. Finally, the third heaven is the ultimate destination, the fulfillment of our relationship with God. Together, they form a divine progression, a journey from the physical to the spiritual, and finally to the eternal. Think of it as ascending levels in a magnificent, divine structure. On the first level, we grasp the basics of God's creation and our place within it. On the second level, we confront the spiritual struggles that teach us to trust in God and rely on His power. And at the final level, we are welcomed into God's eternal presence, where everything we have endured and believed in is brought to glorious fruition. But here's the troubling question. Why isn't this taught more often? Why are so many of us unaware of the profound interconnectedness of the three heavens? Why is this crucial teaching absent from so many sermons and lessons? This silence has left countless believers without a full understanding of the divine plan. It's not just an oversight. It's a missing piece of the puzzle that could bring so much clarity and strength to our faith. In the coming moments, we'll explore why this truth remains hidden and how reclaiming it can deepen your relationship with God in ways you never imagined. Stay with me, because uncovering this mystery could change everything about how you see heaven, life, and your own spiritual journey. One reason this truth about the three heavens remains unexplored in many teachings is that it challenges traditional understanding. For many spiritual leaders, diving into such a profound topic feels daunting. Talking about the three heavens means weaving together spiritual insight, theological depth, and practical application, a task that requires both courage and clarity. Unfortunately, this complexity often leads to silence, leaving believers unaware of a vital part of God's divine blueprint. But understanding the three heavens isn't just a theological exercise, it's crucial to our spiritual growth. It unlocks a complete picture of God's plan for humanity, allowing us to comprehend not only the struggles we face, but also the ultimate hope that awaits us. Knowing the three heavens reshapes our perspective, anchoring us in a purpose-filled life, a resilient hope, and a deeper intimacy with the divine. When we grasp this truth, we begin to see our lives not as isolated moments, but as part of a grand narrative orchestrated by God Himself. The first heaven calls us to marvel at the majesty of creation, reminding us that every star, every breeze, and every sunrise is a testament to God's power and love. The second heaven awakens us to the reality of spiritual warfare, showing us that our trials are not in vain, but are opportunities to grow in faith and character. And the third heaven, the most sacred of all, inspires us to endure with hope, knowing that our ultimate destiny is eternal communion with God, where every tear is wiped away and every longing is fulfilled. In these interconnected realities, we find the full story of God's care for His creation, His fight for our souls, and His promise of everlasting peace. The three heavens are not abstract theological ideas, but living truths that guide us, challenge us, and bring us closer to the heart of God. By understanding them, we align ourselves with His purpose, live with intentionality, and persevere through every trial with the confidence that the best is yet to come. As we conclude this journey through the heavens, let this teaching inspire you to seek more of God in your daily life. Let it stir within you a renewed sense of purpose and an unshakable faith. The three heavens reveal not only the greatness of God's plan, but also the depth of His love for us. May this truth encourage you to live boldly, to trust deeply, and to hope unwaveringly as you walk the path He has set before you. If this message has moved you or given you fresh insight, don't leave without subscribing for more content like this. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your story matters, and together we can grow as a community of faith, inspiring and uplifting one another on this incredible journey. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to walking with you in our next exploration of God's truth and purpose. See you in the next video.